Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another one of the Kepler weapons. In today's video, we're taking a look at the pulse rifle, the last Thursday. And this is like the final weapon of the Kepler weapons that I really wanted to look at, because I actually ended up liking this weapon a lot more than I expected for both PvP and PvE. I definitely think that you guys should give it a try. So in today's video, we're going to be going over what are some of the perks that you can get on this weapon, what are some of the best ones, and the ones that you should be looking for if you're looking for a god rule in this weapon, as well as a mini review at the end where I just tell you the things that I like or dislike about the weapon. So let's get into it, and first let's talk about where to actually get this weapon. And it being a Kepler weapon, you basically get it from literally doing anything on Kepler. The story, the side missions, replaying missions, just opening chests, anything that you do there has a chance of actually dropping this weapon. And you can also use focus it, so you'll be more likely to get this weapon whenever you get some drops. This weapon is adaptive frame, meaning it's a 390 RPM pulse rifle, and those are pretty good right now. Both PvP, PvE, they're pretty solid in both. And it comes with the origin trait, Exhaustive Research, meaning that whenever you aim down sights at a target, after a short period of time, it will load a micro missile. This can be very good at the beginning of fights, but it's not something that you're going to be using all the time. You basically use it right at the beginning, do some big burst damage, and then you use the weapon normally. The bad thing about this perk is that it doesn't activate while you're shooting the weapon, so you kind of have to stop shooting, wait for it to load the missile, and then actually fire it. So it's definitely a little bit more on the niche side, but now let's move on and actually take a look at the things that you guys are here to check out. What are some of those trade perks? And we are going to have a couple of the new ones on this weapon, which should definitely make it interesting. We'll have a quick overview on all the perks in each lot, and then we'll go a little bit more in depth into some of the best ones, because I know that's what you guys are looking for. And afterwards, we'll talk about some god rules that you should be using on this weapon or searching for on this weapon for both PvP as well as PvE. So let's get into it, let's not waste any time, and let's take a look at some of these trade perks. Now these are the options that we have for the very first trade perk. We have Subsistence, Rapid Hit, Demo, Strategist, the new perk Transcendent Moment, Built to Blast, and lastly Moving Target. Now when it comes to PvE, I think you have a couple of different choices. Subsistence is gonna be really good. It's gonna make it so you don't really have to reload the weapon as often. Every time that you get a kill, you put some bullets back into the magazine. And considering that we have a pretty good magazine already at base of 33, you'll be able to fire this weapon for a long time without having to reload. It's gonna be really good, and it's gonna make this weapon feel pretty nice. Now your other two choices can be between either Demolitionist or Strategist. Both of these are gonna be fantastic choices, and it kind of depends what you value more. Do you want your class ability a little more? Do you want your grenade a little more? Or are you in a build that relies on getting class ability or grenades back faster? These are definitely going to be very good, especially with the new system and the way the stats work. These two perks are going to be fantastic. Now we do have some of those new perks, but I just don't feel like they work really well on this pulse rifle. For both PvP or PvE, they're just not really going to be my go-to. I feel like the three that we talked about are pretty much like the best ones, at least when it comes to PvE. Now when it comes to the Crucible, I would say you either are looking for Rapid Hit, so you can get some more stability and reload speed as you hit some precision hits, or you could also go with Moving Target. I actually think Moving Target definitely got a bit of a boost with Edge of Fate, just because everything in the Crucible kind of slowed down. So having that increased strafing speed when you're aiming, as well as the increased aim assist, is actually pretty good on the Moving Target. And while it doesn't work on every weapon, I feel like it works pretty well on pulse rifles and auto rifles, so I would definitely recommend that you give it a try with this weapon. This weapon actually really ended up surprising me for the Crucible. I didn't expect me to really like it, but I guess it is a 390 pulse rifle, so there was no way that it was going to be like a bad feeling pulse rifle, but still, it actually ended up kind of cooking people in Crucible. Now these are the options we have for the second trade perk. We have Slice, Hatchling, Head Seeker, Elemental Honing, Frenzy, Dragonfly, and lastly Binary Orbit. So once again, let's start with PvE, and we gotta talk about the Strand ones first of all. We have both Hatchling and Slice on this weapon. Fortunately, they're on the same slot, so we couldn't really combine them like we can with other weapons, but both of these are gonna be pretty good. I feel Slice specifically this season, especially with the Cauterized Darkness artifact mod, is really good. So definitely be on the lookout for Slice on this weapon. Hatchling is gonna be pretty okay. I feel like you'd really have to be like on a Hatchling build to really get the most out of him this season. You also have Dragonfly on this weapon, which is gonna give you a little extra ad clear. That's always pretty good. And then we have some of those damage perks like Elemental Honing and Frenzy. Frenzy is amazing because the insane uptime you have on this perk. After you're in combat for 12 seconds, Frenzy activates, maxing out your handling, maxing out your reload speed, and giving you a 15% damage boost. And this boost will not go away until you're out of combat. So this perk essentially you just gotta turn off when either you die or all the enemies die. That's like the only time Frenzy is gonna be going away. The uptime is really insane on Frenzy, and because the perk activates so easily, it is always a good perk. Now you also have Elemental Honing, which I recommend that you run whenever you are on Prismatic, because it's just such a good perk. It has the potential to give you a huge damage boost, as long as you keep proccing the perk with different elements. Now this won't work with every single build, but if you're on Prismatic, definitely give Elemental Honing a try. That's what I'm going to be using in the gameplay in the background, and it definitely put in some work. It actually did a lot of damage with that Elemental Honing. And those are pretty much like the ones that you want to look for this column right here, at least when it comes to PvE. Now for the Crucible, you're only really looking for one thing. You're looking for Headseeker. If you're going to be using this weapon in the Crucible, you're going to Headseeker. It's going to increase your aim assist and headshot damage after you hit a body shot, and overall it's just going to make this weapon a lot more forgiving. It's a 390 pulse rifle. We knew that Headseeker was going to be like the go-to thing before I even looked at any of the other perks. But those are going to be the perks that I recommend that you guys go for on this weapon, and now let's take a look at the god rolls. Now for the very first god roll, we're just going to be starting off with the Crucible, and for the Crucible you can go with either Moving Target Headseeker or Rapid Hit Headseeker. Both of those are going to be fantastic rolls, and that's going to make this weapon into a very nice feeling 390 RPM pulse rifle. Now when it comes to PvE, you definitely have a couple of choices, so let's go through them. The first one is going to be Subsistence plus Dragonfly. This is going to give you more ad clear, as well as just not having to reload. As long as you keep getting kills, you keep doing ad clear, and just keep putting more bullets into your magazine. The Slice Strategist combo is going to be pretty good, which lets you have more class ability energy, so you can keep proccing more Slice. Frenzy plus Demolitionist or Strategist is also going to be a really good role, since you get all those stats from Frenzy, and every time that you get some kills, you're going to be regenerating your abilities. This is going to be a really good setup that you can just pretty much slap on any character, any build, and it's going to do really well. And the final one, it has to be Elemental Honing plus Subsistence. This one's going to let you have that big damage buff, as well as constantly putting rounds into the magazine. I would say that for this one, you do kind of have to be on Prismatic, or just make sure every single one of your weapons is a different type. But the easiest way of doing this, and taking the most advantage of Elemental Honing, definitely has to be with just Prismatic. It's just gotta work so much better, that you have an easier time really taking advantage of this amazing perk. But those are gonna be the rolls that I'm gonna be looking for on this weapon, and let me know in the comments below what you guys are gonna be looking for, or if you got any good rolls on this weapon, also leave that in the comments below. And now let's talk a little about this weapon, and just kinda what I feel about it. And the only thing that I really have to say about this weapon is that it's very solid, and even though that this weapon doesn't have any standout super crazy combinations, it's pretty much all things that we kinda seen before, but it is still on a very solid weapon that's gonna be really good. And if you're looking for a Strand pulse rifle, this one's definitely gonna be a very good one. So I definitely recommend that you still go out, get one. You probably already have a bunch of these, maybe in the vault that you threw them in there, so definitely check the rolls on them, because you actually may have a bit of a hidden gem in there. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video, hopefully you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care everyone, have a good rest of your day, peace.